Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. Smugglers dispatched. All right, when last we left off, we were making the rounds of some bandit camps that were near the farmstead of Etienne's sister, Kerway. The idea being that we were going to try to at least do a little bit to secure the immediate area so that there wouldn't be a bunch of lowlifes kind of hanging around near his sister's farm. These guys here, I sort of approached them with the idea in mind that they could very well be regular guys with legitimate business interests. But the closer you get, the more unsavory it feels. The more it feels like it's some kind of a hidden operation. And then in addition to that, they drew their swords when I got close. So even though that may still not be a clear sign of ill intent, it's enough for Etienne. Without doubt. There's some good alchemy ingredients in here. Grab those. Oh, how hard is it? Come on. This is an adept lock. There we go. It's hardly worth it. Uh-oh.
You in the back. Can't wait to count out your coin. It'll be so much easier to roll. Dead.
I surely do miss having certain aspects of a horse overhaul, namely horse charging capability.
It's nothing.
That hurts. Just run, Garm, run. See, I should be able to horse charge that guy. With the right mods, you can horse charge and knock your opponents down with a massive horse. It makes sense. But in this particular case, without that mod, I can't really do that. All I can do is shove the guy around. It makes no sense whatsoever. So, we keep running circles around him. The aim is off, too, which is a bummer.
You're nothing.
We got a guy who's basically nude. Basically completely nude. Okay. Mage is down. Now we got 2 goons left. Let's draw them out a little bit. Good dog.
What you gonna do?
Good dog.
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back.
The other thing, too, is the horse just doesn't move fast enough compared to the rest of these goons. Thank you, horse. Our relationship is ended. I'll take all of your stuff. Welcome back to the story, everybody. Let's check out this mage. Well, we hamstrung him. We did all manner of different things. I mean, this is the weirdest cobbled together outfit I've ever seen. You know, a loincloth and a tricorn hat. I mean, it's pretty brilliant, actually. Very, I don't know. It's got a certain amount of flair, I guess. All right. Well, let's check out the rest of their operation here to see what, if anything, we can use. Don't need any more cabbage. Well, my best guess is that they're smuggling skooma. This is a stop-off point. We did find a fair amount of skooma. We also found a lot of kind of miscellaneous alchemy ingredients. Stuff like that. A fair amount of liquor. That kind of thing. So, I don't know. Alright, come on, Garm. Let's head out. Alright, I'm actually going to leave Garm here. She gets a little free time, I guess, at this point. But first, we're going to debug Garm. Kind of let her go to wander and hunt and do her thing. Get a cooking fire going, I think. Need some more kindling. There we go. Inside this confined space, I'm kind of keeping the fire small. Since we don't have really an official chimney flue, we're kind of reliant on smoke going to the ceiling and kind of channeling out that opening. We don't want to get too crazy with it. So we'll just have to be careful with that. We got some pelts, I think, that we can work on while we're warming the place up. So there's something that I need to address, and it has to do with some comments regarding the fact that the job for the Jarl was actually an Ember Shard and what was not at Knife Point Ridge. The bounty and the job for the Jarl were separate locations. Well, I didn't realize that. I made a mistake. But I've thought about it for a while now. And in the context of playing this game, I've tried to explain it many times. When I'm playing the game live and the story is good, I don't always see every little message that goes along the top. And I've been playing this game for a long time, and almost every time I've done that quest, it's almost always been a situation where I've been sent to Knife Point Ridge. So I assumed that it was Knife Point Ridge. Well, it's not. It's Embershard Mine. So I'm sort of faced with this situation, what serves the story and what serves the game. So this would not be the first time that I've been faced with a situation like this. Pretty much every story series that I have done, especially if it's live commentary, at some point I come up against a situation like this. And I will tell you that, you know, I'm going to come down on the side of story every single time. So, you know, game mechanics be damned. If it doesn't fit the story, I'm not going to do it. But in this situation, I think it presents an opportunity, potentially, for some creativity. Yes, it was not part of my original plan, part of my original narrative to have him go and do a mission in the wrong place. But the fact is that that's how it came out. That's what he did. And having returned to the Jarl's Longhouse and spoken to the steward, it actually seemed like we had done the right mission, when in fact we had actually fulfilled the requirements of the bounty letter, not the specific mission given to us by the Jarl. Now, there's no way at all, so far, that I think Etienne could have determined that he had essentially misunderstood or completed the wrong mission. So at this point, we're moving forward with Etienne assuming that he's completed the correct mission and that his obligations to Sidgeir have been fulfilled. And trust me, I will find a way to work this into the story. I always do. And that's part of the challenge of this whole thing and part of what makes it fun. So I will respond to this like I respond to everything else that happens in game, and I will work it into the story, and it'll prove to be interesting. That doesn't mean I'm any less annoyed at having missed it in the first place. That's absolute fact. It is annoying, but I also, you know, have to give myself a break a little bit and say, hey, you know, I'm doing a lot of talking and a lot of thinking and a lot of different stuff at the time I'm doing this. And it's not as if I'm recording the commentary after the fact. I'm recording the commentary as I play. So I'm going to miss stuff. And if I miss stuff, then I'm obligated to figure out how to work it into the story. Or in some cases, maybe I just ignore it completely. This is one of those cases where I think if I'm thinking creatively, I can find a way to make this a relevant and interesting part of the story. And that's kind of what I like about this medium anyway, is that the way we respond can be fluid. So I may have an idea of what the long-term story arc is, but I have not nearly as much control over what happens in between the primary milestones of the story than I would like to have. I mean, I just don't have that kind of control, and that's part of what makes this whole thing fun anyway, is creating a character and responding to situations. So we'll do that in this case, and we'll make it part of the story, and I think in the end, the story will probably be better and more interesting for it. So that is what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, we've got some other things that we can take care of here. Let's go do some shopping, but first of all, I'm going to make sure I've grabbed up anything that I might be able to sell. We've got a lot of empty water skins. We could probably get rid of some of those. Maybe we can find someone who wants that stuff, but I mean, we've kind of picked over this stuff quite a few times, and I'm feeling like the items that we saved are really the items that we need. Most of the stuff that we have stored here has extra weight that we don't want to carry, but also has utility. There are things that we're using for crafting or starting fires or stuff like that. So All right. So we've got lots of water skins. Our food stores are a little bit better. We could probably add a few more things here. We've also got some meats that we could preserve. These are things that have been acquired over the last day or so of adventuring. So we'll preserve this stuff so it doesn't spoil as fast anyway. Okay. All right. All right, so we're going to catch a little sleep. Then we're going to get up in the morning, and we're going to go do some shopping in Whiterun. Maybe a wee bit of crafting and so forth. I think one of the other things that I wanted to bring up, just, you know, in general for the group, there are those of you out there who have used the Campfire mod more than I have. I started using the Campfire mod with this Let's Play. I had never used it prior to this playthrough. However, and I really do like it. I'm enjoying it. Oh, I can't look at skills without having a fire lit. So let's light a fire. What I wanted to do is talk about the skill tree here. I mean, I've been using this mod, and you've been following along with me. We are, we've basically gone from level 1 to level 25. And in that time, I have only acquired 2 additional campfire perks, which I have spent. And to me, that's kind of astounding. It makes me feel as if there's something not right. People have been providing me some feedback saying, hey, you know, you got to sleep 8 hours a night. You got to use the tools. Well, I mean, we have been basically doing nothing but camping. And I have been striving to get 8 hours of sleep a night, to use my skills. We're using the instinct power almost constantly as we're traveling. To me, it seems like by this point, we should have acquired more than just 2 perks in this camping tree. So what I would ask of you, those of you who are more familiar with this mod, take an objective look at what we've been doing here, understanding, you know, what we have accomplished using this mod specifically between the first episode and episode 50. And let me know if you think there's something that I'm missing here, or if there's a possibility that this could be glitched. I guess what I'm saying is I feel like it's not working properly. I feel like Ettient should be gaining more campfire perks given how much we're using this stuff. So let me know what you think of that. I'm interested in your opinion. If I'm not using it properly or if there's something I'm missing, please let me know. But we're using the crafting skills, we're using the instinct skills, we're making fires, we're setting up camps, we're building things, we're cooking, we're doing everything that's required of us and using it on a daily/nightly basis. So from my perspective, I'm just feeling like we're gaining perks in Campfire more slowly than we should be. That's my perspective. So for those of you who have been using it more and have more experience with it, let me know what you think. I'm interested in your opinion. So anyway, that kind of wraps it for now. We've got some things we're going to go out and sell and possibly do a little crafting and see what the town has to offer. We haven't visited all the vendors yet, so we may go and visit the apothecary and create some potions and so forth, things like that. And honestly, look and see if anybody's got any enchanted items that might help us in our mission. That would be super helpful. So that's kind of the agenda for today. Now, I think, you know, on the vein earlier that we were talking about, we were talking earlier about the whole thing with Embershard Mine and all of that stuff. I think for me, the thing that's important that people understand is when you're looking at an episode of this story, I'm typically 3, sometimes maybe 4 episodes ahead of you in production. So understand that at the time that the Embershard Mine situation was called to my attention, that was probably, I don't know, in episode 46, something like that. I had already completed production on episode 49, and it was basically queued up and ready to publish. So a lot of times when I'm looking at these kinds of situations, I've already gotten to a point where responding is either inconvenient or in some cases impossible. So if this is something that I had caught at the time where, say, Etienne was still in Falkreath, responding to the Embershard Mine issue would have been a breeze, right? Because I simply could have picked that up on the way. But at the time that that was discovered, I was already on episode 49, which has Etienne well into Whiterun and adventuring around the countryside in the Whiterun area, which creates something of a problem for me now, doesn't it? And the reason I bring that up is because for me to actually go back and retcon the story, for example, would probably take me a minimum of 3 episodes to resolve that with a lot of backtracking. So I think if we look at it objectively, we're looking at, you know, realistically, 1 episode for him to venture back to Embershard Mine, which is along the road between Whiterun and Falkreath. So 1 episode to journey back there and maybe clear the place out. Another episode for him to journey down to Falkreath, visit the Jarl, and turn in the quest. And yet another episode, at least 1 more episode, for him to make his way back here to Whiterun and then re-engage where the story left off. So you can kind of understand what the significance of that setback. That essentially sets the progress of the primary storyline back anywhere from 3 to 4 episodes for the purpose of going back and fixing something that I missed along the way. And that's just not something that is doable or is going to happen. I think that's probably an inelegant way of handling the problem in the first place. So typically in these kinds of situations, what I'm going to be looking for is an opportunity to integrate that into the story as it stands now and going forward. And I've got some ideas already about how this will work that I think will enhance the overall narrative that I'm creating here. So, you know, it's just one of those things that's helpful to explain because, you know, like I said, if I hadn't been in a situation where I was already sort of behind the 8 ball in episodes, then I might have changed things up.
Sometimes I miss the soldier's life.
Hey, I haven't found your sword yet, but don't worry, I'm going to find it.
I know I made the right choice.
I got you. I got you, sir. All right, so let's go and see if Belethor has anything we can use. Again, looking for magic items primarily, and looking for materials.
Give a holler if you have any questions. Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second.
You're joking, right? If I didn't need to buy things from this guy, I'd consider
Trinkets,
punching him in the
odds
face.
and ends, that sort of thing.
So I think what we could say is let's use this opportunity. Let's use this opportunity. Etienne is crabby. He's annoyed, and I'll tell you why. Okay. How much do I get for a water skin? 5? Ugh. He's crabby because of the experience that we had yesterday, right? At the same time that he's finally seen his sister again for the first time in probably 30 years, he feels like he can't go talk to her. You know? And I think that he's probably telling himself that he can't go and talk to her because talking to her would put her in danger. But what's really going on is that he's making excuses for not talking to her because he's scared to talk to her. He knows that he's wrong. He knows that he has basically crapped all over his sister and abandoned her in a way. And so he feels lots of guilt over that. You know? I mean, imagine the guilt, right? So you have a situation where, you know, he wants to go talk to her, but he's kind of lying to himself about why he's not going to. And it's an emotionally stressful kind of situation. So I'm sure he's feeling conflicted about that, and then he spends a day killing bandits, poachers, and smugglers, probably taking out some of that aggression, you know, on the poor bastards who happen to get in his way. Not good. So, anyway, that's kind of how I look at that, you know. All right, let's see what he's got. You got anything that we could use? No circlets, thank you very much. Just nothing. Not much we could really use at the moment. Okay.
Do come back.
Mm-hmm.
Foolish old woman. You know nothing. Nothing of our struggles, our suffering.
Nothing. And what of my son? What of Thorold?
What are you looking at? I'm not afraid of you, you know, even if you are my elder.
Get lost,
Your
kid.
son chose his side and he chose poorly, and now he's gone. Such is the way of war. The sooner you accept his loss, the
Tender rack
better.
of ribs. He's Soljund, wasn't it? What brings you to the north?
My son still
I'm here
lives.
to buy
I
food
feel it
with
in
you.
my heart.
I suppose you don't need to
So
worry.
tell me, battle forms, where is he? Where are you holding my Thorold?
Do you believe this
Finest cuts,
old
fresh from the wilds.
holding him? Why, I've got him in my cellar. He's my prisoner. Face it, coward. Your stupid son
Chops and
is dead.
steaks fit for a
He
yard.
died a storm-cloaked traitor. And you best keep your mouth shut before you suffer the same.
Come on, father. There's nothing
I've
more
got
to
a
be said
recipe
here.
for venison stew that I want to try out. Will you have venison anytime soon?
Come to chat with an old woman,
I'll be sure to bring some back for you the next time I go hunt.
Make it quick.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions. You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil.
It could be because I wear a mask all the time.
Ah, so you're an alchemist then?
Okay. Let's see. I don't think we need any more blister wart. Well, she kind of has a lot of the stuff that we don't normally use for the things we've made in the past. Ooh, she has a mortar and pestle. Yeah. Yeah. That, I think, might allow us to actually make our own potions on the trail. That would be awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Will do. Okay. Let's see what we can make here. And a necklace. Where's our necklace? There it is. Okay.
If there's anything I can help you with, you have but to ask.
29%. Make one of those. Up to 22 damage.
You'll find tonics, salves,
It might be time to actually start investing in... to start investing in some alchemy, I think. You know? I mean, we're doing pretty good so far, but it would be a really good thing for us to be able to crank up the effectiveness of our poisons in particular. Would be nice.
I sell cures for all ills, and I'll be happy to serve you.
Okay. Let's sell a few potions to her.
You look rather... Pardon me, but do I detect a case of the rattles? I've got something for that.
Wow, you're really into the hard sell.
So you're interested in my potions and ingredients?
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. Okay. Let's sell some stuff. Sell that one. Magic of poison. We'll save that for a special occasion. Okay, we've got these weaker damage health poisons, but I think I'm going to keep them. I think the higher damage ones are good to use on humanoid targets, maybe the lesser ones on animal targets, depending on what we're doing. Damaging the Magicka regen. We're going to keep that as well. It's a good thing for fighting the Hag Ravens. Aversion to frost. These aversion potions don't do us a whole lot of good yet. We're going to sell that. That. Frostbite venom. We're hanging on to that because that may have some other uses. Okay, cure poison. Fortify health. Heavy armor. We're going to keep heavy armor. Yeah, we'll keep this one. Because our other set of armor is heavy armor. You never know, we might need that. Invisibility, always good. Keeping that. Magicka, we'll get rid of that. Pickpocket. Don't need that. And then we've got all of this resist frost. We'll get rid of, like, half... Oh, she doesn't have enough moolah. Okay. Okay. So 4 of those.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Okay. All right. Back to our regular apparel. Health. All right, let's continue on our shopping spree.
Well met, traveler.
Wow. A friendly person. Interesting. Let's cut some wood while what's-his-nuts is away. He's a chopping block hog. So we'll jump in, get some more firewood while we got a chance. So we've got quite a few things to trade and sell, some miscellaneous things that we can do here.
Come by Bellathor's shop at the market. I'm sure we've got something you need.
But I'm thinking the primary thing on Etienne's mind right now is kind of, you know, what's next? What do we do now? It's almost as if it's kind of a waiting game to see what's going to happen.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions. Hello, friend. In the market for some hunting supplies? Hagraven or Horker, it matters not. We've got the arrows to fell any game.
Mm-hmm.
Bows and arrows for the mighty huntsman.
Okay. Actually, wondering if you'd buy this. I would like it out of my inventory. All right. Crafting feathers. I think we're doing okay on those, maybe. Let's check. Oh, well, we can't check here.
Thank
We don't have any crafting feathers.
very much for your...
Unless I
So what
stored
can I
them
get you?
in our little hideout, but I don't think I did.
What are you hunting? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Okay. We'll take all of those. Lockpick for good measure. Good enough.
Farewell.
Mm-hmm. Moving on. Excuse me, miss.
Got some good... I don't claim to be the best blacksmith in Whiterun. Jorland Greymane's got that honor.
Jorland Greymane. I don't think we visited him yet. I would like to see if you're interested in buying some things. Like, a huge iron warhammer. How about that? Steel greatsword. Okay. What have we got? Boots. Hide boots. Bracers. Some leather boots. Oh, there's that mercenary armor and gauntlets. Not giving that up quite yet. Studded armor. I think that's it. Okay, and what do you got? Elven gauntlets. More conjuring. Major alchemy, we've got that covered with our circlet. Okay.
Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
Sure enough. Let's see. Padded for mantle white and Einherjar. Okay, we're keeping those. Mercenary gauntlets, we're keeping those. Pickaxe, woodcutter's axe. I guess we can convert that cape to leather. No one seems to want to buy it. Spellbinder gauntlets to quicksilver. Sure. Nordic arrows. Mantle of the Silver Hand we're keeping. Mercenary armor we're keeping. Alright, that was worthwhile.
Have you met my father? He's a steward up at Dragon's Reach.
Let's see if he's got anything different in here than what she has.
Welcome to War Maidens.
Hey.
Now don't let the name worry you. We got plenty of steel for fighting men.
I saw you at the Bannered Mare last night.
We've got small weapons as well as big. Take a look.
He does have different stuff. I feel like that's not always the case, but it maybe is more the case when it comes to... It's more samey, in other words, when it comes to crafting materials. It seems quite often like I'm looking for one steel ingot, and she doesn't have it outside, and he doesn't have it inside either. That kind of thing. But maybe I'm totally off base. The crafting feathers, we are going to take those whenever we find them. Just because we need to keep a good stockpile of those.
Good doing business with you.
They're one of those things that we don't find as often in the world as we find things like leather and other materials required to make arrows. So, we'll just make sure we've got a good stock of those. Okay. So, we're going to find...
You tried mercenary work? It might suit you.
This Yorlin Greymane feller.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
They say our Stormcloak murdered the High King with his voice.
So this is the mighty Yorvaskar. This place is famous all over. So Etienne would have been familiar with at least some of the stories or fables surrounding the companions. A little bit of history here. It's almost like, you know, going to Whiterun and checking out the local museum or historical sites. Pretty cool. And this has to be the legendary forge, right? Yeah. Vander would say that that's the pigeon of power. But Etienne's a bit more worldly than that. Okay.
My poor Fralia think Thorald's still alive, but I know better.
Thorald again. What have you got for sale?
Gods be praised.
I like this guy. You know, he just goes to work every day. He's an artisan. Love it. Ooh, he's got lots of crafting feathers. We can afford those. He's got moonstone as well. I don't think we need that much moonstone, but a couple more would be nice. Wait a second.
Gods be praised.
He didn't have... No, he didn't have Quicksilver. I was looking to see if he had Quicksilver. Let's look and see what we've got. We do have leather strips, so I think we have everything we need to keep... You got to make the arrows when you have an opportunity, right? Once you get out in the fields, you don't always have the opportunity. We've got lots of crafting feathers now. Okay. Awesome. We added 50 more arrows. Oh yeah, we can make 25 more of these guys too. Bone mold, auxiliary armors. Leather stuff. All right, excellent. Okay. Let's level up, shall we? All right, we've got a couple of perks to increase here. We'll invest in health this time. Now, I've determined that when I get up to around, I think, 250 base health, and we're actually really close to that now, that Etienne is going to start investing exclusively in stamina for a while. I don't know how long we're going to do that. Oh, we've got our bonus perk, too. Excellent. This is great. So what I want to take a look at first of all is one-handed. We've got an opportunity now to do some more training with Amryn. Savage. We've got enough levels for this now. Attacks with a dagger deal 25% more damage if you rapidly hit the target 3 or more times. Resets when 2 seconds pass between hits. That's interesting. That might be a good investment. Now, I'm not sure if that applies to power attacks. I tend to think it's just stab, 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 right? It's not power attacks. Okay, we finally eclipsed that 50 archery. Pinning shot. Arrows and bolts have a chance to stagger a target within 50 feet. More effective against targets with a lower remaining health percentage. No effect on massive targets. That would be a good one. Wing strike. Bashing with the bow always staggers the target. Bows and crossbows deal 40% more damage to that target for 10 seconds after. Boy, that would be a good one. So between pinning shot and wing strike, we could really crank up our ability to take down opponents that kind of get through our first defense, right? So thread the needle. We haven't gotten there yet. We still got a ways to go. All right, so potentially some great investments there. All right, what do we got here? Still haven't hit that level 2 backstab yet. All right, so the smoke curtain, this was the 35-foot radius cloud thing. Disengage power once a day, all enemies within 100 feet attacking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is just going to make them stop searching for us. Clean escape. When you stand still for 8 seconds while sneaking, enemies within 150 feet no longer search for you. So these are just 3 different methods for disengaging from enemies that have seen you. This one I just don't think I don't know that I'll ever invest in that. I don't like the... Performing a silent role in combat leaves a trail of grease. I don't know. 15% more effective for each enemy within 100 feet. That would be a nice one to have. So this one requires 80, and we're very close to this one. That would be a great one to have. That would have been a great one to have in the Reach. Thankfully, we can get to that one without having to take dodge roll, so that's good, because dodge roll just doesn't interest me. Problem solver. Sneak attacks deal 10% more damage for each 200 points of health the target has, up to 50% more damage. Problem solver is a good one too. What was that again? Was that also 80? It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so some really nice things open up for us in the sneak tree at level 80. So we're going to stay away from that right now. We'll wait to invest there. I'm thinking that this time around we're going to invest in one-handed. Furious Strength. Power attack damage with one-handed weapons increased by 15%, plus 0.1% per point of stamina, and unlocks decaps. This one could actually benefit us very well as well. And I'm actually thinking that Furious Strength is probably a better selection for us at the moment than Savage. Because we're dual wielding, which means we're sort of predisposed in a lot of cases to use our power attacks. So I'm going to take Furious Strength. Plus we'll unlock some decap kill cams, which could be kind of fun. Alright. What do we need for more long shot? Man. It would definitely be nice to have more long shot capabilities. Okay. Pinning shot. We're going to take this as well. Staggering our opponents in those up-close situations would be good. Okay. And then we're going to take a second level of Wing Strike. We're definitely a bow basher, let's be real. So 40% more damage to that target for 10 seconds. So we've been doing this combination, right, of a bow smash with a stun, followed by an arrow shot. This will help us in that sequence. It'll make that a bit more effective, so we'll have to spend hopefully less time backpedaling, and we can get the job done more quickly. So that seems like a good investment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find Amren and see if we can do a little bit more training. It's so cool to actually hear geese in the game and stuff like that. There he is. Let's talk to him again. Hey Amran, I want to talk to you. I got some new ideas I want to try.
Sometimes I miss the soldier's life, but when I hold my daughter in my arms, I know I made the right choice.
Yeah, all the more reason for us to do this job
you
for
a
you.
few things.
Good. Okay, I think he can train us up to level 50. I think that's where his expertise stops. So let's get it while we can. Okay. Excellent.
Right then.
Hey, we're blocking traffic here. Hey, see you later. I'll let you know if I find anything.
District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Come to chat with an old woman, hmm? Do your good deed for the day.
Is everyone around here so passive-aggressive? Wow, 3 insults all in a row. Okay, nice. Well, I think we've done what we can here. We just got to spend a ton of perks. I had been saving one up, plus we gained another one and then got our bonus perk all at once. So, yeah. Yeah, at level 25. So every 5 levels we're getting that bonus. So level 26, and we're already a third of the way to our next level with the training and all that stuff. So very, very good. All right. Let's go to the Bannered Mare. See if they've got anything.
My wife's a good woman.
Sort of
She can be a little hard-headed
fresh
sometimes.
and hot for lunch, maybe.
Doesn't mean I can't earn my own keep. I didn't mean. I'm sorry.
Special award for the one who brings me those books. Make sure they're delivered to me in pristine condition. We're gonna check that.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds. If it's work
Hey,
you need,
it's me again.
how about chopping up some wood for the fires? I enjoy this work well
Eh,
enough,
nah.
but I'm ready to retire. I've been thinking of selling the inn to Isolda. Anyway, what do you need?
Huh. What if you have for sale?
Take a look.
Okay. Huh. Okay, I'll bite. I'll try this Horker loaf thing. And we'll have it with some baked potatoes. And some bread. And you know what? That's it.
Need anything else? Just let me know.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this point,
What can
Hulda
I get you?
slips Etienne a note and says, somebody came by and left this for you. So we are going to find a quiet place to eat our meal and read our note.
Sadia, wake up, dear.
Yes, Mum.
Well, let's give Sadia her opportunity to try and sell us something. Are you coming or what? All right, let's just eat. All right, a little Horker loaf. Some baked potato. Some bread. And then we're going to taste test Haunting Brew mead versus Blackbriar mead. Earthy. Some slight floral notes. Blackbriar. Ooh. Rich. Much richer. Maybe a little bitter aftertaste. But plays well with things like Horker loaf and cooked beef, I think. Etienne prefers the Blackbriar. Okay, apparently she's not coming. Oh, there she is.
Depends. Are you thirsty?
Yeah, what's on the menu?
Hungry? Both.
Can definitely tell Haunting Brew mead is the local brew. They're not even selling the Blackbriar here. Okay, we're going to buy a couple of staples from her. Cooked beef because it's good for the trail. And a goat cheese wheel. Thank you.
Please, no more questions.
Bye-bye. I didn't ask any questions, did I? I don't remember. All right. So, let's take this note. Etienne pulls the letter he received from Hulda from his backpack. And it reads, "Your presence in Solitude is required at once. Please proceed with haste to the Thalmor headquarters and bring with you all information you have gathered on the Forsworn. You are to leave the package in the headquarters. We trust that you will be discreet. Your unwillingness to complete all the tasks presented to you has been aggravating and ill-advised. However, Undolamar speaks highly of your performance in uncovering the Talos cult in Markarth. Given this, I'm willing to overlook your defiance and would present you with another mission that may allow you to redeem yourself in the eyes of the Aldmeri Dominion. We have a task we need performed for the one true ruler of Skyrim. I assure you, this will leave no blood on your hands and will go a long way toward promoting the political objectives of the Thalmor with the local government." All right. We have a new mission and a new destination, Solitude. Time check. All right. It's late afternoon. So, we're going to head back to our hideout. We'll pack our things and get ready to set out probably before sunrise.
Looking to do some hunting, eh?
And head to Solitude.
You tried mercenary work? It might suit you.
All right. So this is interesting. It sounds as though the Thalmor was annoyed by our defiance, but is giving us another chance and has assured us that this mission will not require us to murder anyone, at least. Let's goose our fire since it's still going. All right. Well, that, my friends, is a wrap for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching The Passage, and I will see you next time.